meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we'll have roll call. Bonnie?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
Marcus?
Here.
The next item is the consent agenda, and all items under this will be enacted by one motion. But before we approve the consent agenda, I need to pull one item for separate consideration. Councilmember Mike Johnson has a conflict of interest related to the wastewater project because his business, Holstein Electric, is serving as a subcontractor on this project. The consent agenda includes a claim to King Contracting LLC in the amount of $348,556.50 for the wastewater improvement project. Because Councilmember Johnson's company is a subcontractor on this project, we need to remove this claim from the consent agenda and vote on it separately. So now here's how we will proceed. We will approve the consent agenda minus the King Contracting claim. Councilmember Johnson will leave the room. We will have a separate motion to approve the King Contracting claim for $348,556.50. And after we vote on that claim, Councilmember Johnson may return to the meeting. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda excluding the King Contracting LLC claim in the amount of $348,556.50?
So moved.
Okay, Bonnie, I need a second, please.
Seconded.
Terry? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then Ms. Johnson, would you mind just stepping aside? Okay, so now at this time, we need a motion to approve the claim to King Contracting LLC in the amount of $348,556.50 for the wastewater improvement project.
I'll make the motion.
Marcus? I need a second, please.
I'll second.
And Steve? And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Mike. For Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Okay, next item is citizens forum. Do you have anything to say?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. The next item is the review capital financial planning with Nate Summers, UMB. And he is going to be up here.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey Tammy, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes. How are you tonight? Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Nate?
If you can hear me, things are pretty grainy on your video and I can't hear any audio.
Oh dear.
Can you hear us now, Nate?
Must not be able to.
Oops, I can't get my keyboard to work. Good picture, Tammy.
Hey, there we go. I've got
Okay.
Can
Some
you
action.
see
sound coming on my
now?
end. Can you hear me all right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Very good.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks for your patience with the technology, everyone.
Very good.
Okay, so we'll let you read this. Okay.
Yep, and Nate, they've got your papers in front of them if you wanted to just go through that.
Okay. You want me to put it up on the screen or?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Then you can have it both places. Let's see. There we go. How's that?
Yeah,
Perfect.
That's good.
thank you.
All right, make it a little bigger. All right, well, yeah, thanks for letting me join you virtually here. Thanks for your patience with our family got sick around Christmas, and we've been fighting it ever since. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and jump in here, and y'all can feel free to stop me if you have questions. The first page here, what we're outlining is obviously your valuation trend, your 100% actual valuation for those of you who may be new to the council or anyone else listening in at City Hall there. Your 100% actual valuation is what your debt limit or your debt capacity is based off of, and that's calculated by the Iowa code as 5% of your actual valuation. That's the amount of general obligation bonds that the city could have outstanding at any given point in time. Your taxable valuation then is what your levies are applied to. So that is what's left over after you apply the rollback in all the different various property categories. You've got residential and commercial and ag. Once all those rollbacks are applied, that's what you're left with on your taxable valuation. That's what your levies get applied to, your general fund levy, your debt service levy, etc. So you can see you've had historically pretty nice growth, especially over the last 5 years. You've averaged 10% growth on actual valuation and 6% on taxable. So that's really good to see that growth. The city's statutory debt limit, so the amount the city could potentially borrow, is up to about 7.2 million. The city currently has outstanding, and this is counting some of the debt that you'll see in the game plan going forward is about 2.9 million. So even after we would potentially utilize some of this additional debt to achieve some of these projects, total debt subject to the debt limit would be about 3 million. You'd still be left with about 4.2 million of available debt capacity, utilizing about 41% of what you could potentially utilize in debt capacity, which is a healthy place to be. I think one of the most common misconceptions with regard to debt that I'll just lead off with, I certainly strive to be debt-free in my household finances. Cities and counties and schools operate a lot differently than the way a household operates. You've got a lot of large capital type things that need to be kept up, like streets, like a water plant, like a sewer plant, and those things tend to inflate relatively quickly compared to the rest of the world. So a lot of times you get construction inflation running in the 6 to 8% ballpark. The benefit that cities have when we talk about debt is that the city gets to borrow tax exempt debt for the most part. And everything that we're looking at here would be considered tax exempt, and that's tax exempt to the ultimate investor of the debt, whether that's a local bank, whether we go out to the bond market and sell bonds to the investor, when the city makes those interest payments to the investors, the investor doesn't have to pay federal income taxes on that interest. So they can afford to offer and settle with a slightly lower interest rate. So, you know, if the going interest rate is in the 6% ballpark, a tax exempt interest rate might be 3.5% or 4%. So all that to say, the advantage of the city being able to utilize tax exempt debt, the benefit is, you know, if you've got these larger capital projects, you can tackle those now without subjecting yourself to the inflation of those types of projects in the 6 to 8% ballpark. You can borrow at maybe 4%, and you're actually beating, mathematically, it's advantageous to the city because you're effectively borrowing at that lower rate, you're beating the rate of inflation on whatever the project is. So when we talk about debt, we're not talking about, you know, overextending ourselves. We're talking about using it in a fiscally responsible manner to tackle some of these projects that if you were to save cash, try to save cash to tackle these projects, the inflation would just continue to eat away at the cash and you might never get there. So I'll pause there. Any questions about any of that?
No, I think we're good. They all look like they agree.
Everybody's tracking, okay.
Yeah.
All right, second page here. This shows the city's outstanding general obligation debt. Over here, more on the left third of the page. The Series 2021 and the Series 2022 debt. As you can see, you know, in this kind of, I guess call it cyan blue color, the Series 2021 had 3 different categories that the funds were being spent to achieve, or different projects that the funds were being spent to achieve. So we've kept those segregated for purposes of, you know, how we're buying down the debt service levy, etc. Same thing you can see here with the 2022. We have the 2026 general obligation debt built in there for the sewer lagoon project of up to $1 million. I know that one's not been issued yet, but we've got it in there for just for purposes of planning. And then you can see we've got some other Series 2026 debt planned in there for the lift station, generators, and Benning Drive projects. We've got $300,000 in there for the rec center remodel project, and then a $700,000 financing in there in 2028 for City Hall renovation, as well as a pickup and a payloader. And you'll see that illustrated on some of the following pages. As I mentioned, your remaining debt capacity is still, you're not even utilizing 50% of your debt capacity, and you've still got plenty there for if there's an emergency or you know, you wanted to tackle a big street project or something like that. We're leaving plenty of available debt capacity. You're in a healthy place there as far as how much debt you have. All right, if you flip to the next page, this, so the last page was showing only the principal payments. That's what applies to calculating your debt limit or your debt limit. So that this page shows principal and interest payments, which we use to calculate the debt service levy, or what the city needs to repay for its outstanding debts. So you can see the 21, 22 series there, and then we've got these other various future projects built in there as well, and we do that so that we can map out on the far right hand side, being able to map out your debt service levy and make plans for that going forward. So we've built in an assumption that your taxable valuation might grow by 2.5% each year, which should be a conservative estimate based on what we've seen historically from the city over the last 5 years. And even with that in there, we're looking at, you know, your debt service levy jumps up to about $2.90 at one point before it starts to taper off again as some of those older debts get paid off. As far as debt service levy goes, you know, a $2.90 debt service levy is pretty run-of-the-mill average as far as the state goes, statewide average goes. Should sure there's cities out there that don't have any debt, no debt service levy. There's cities out there that have a bigger debt service levy than this. I would say that the cities that don't have a debt service levy, they're probably gonna run into a big infrastructure issue or two in the future. So having some debt service levy is a good thing. It means you're being proactive, you're keeping up your infrastructure and planning for the future. I will say one thing that I'm seeing a lot more of across the state is a lot of cities are utilizing the debt service levy a little bit more heavily, with the state legislature having kind of taken away that historically the maximum general fund levy was $8.10. With the new CGFL calculation kind of capping growth that cities are seeing, it's decreasing what you can levy in your general fund. And so to combat that, we're seeing a lot of cities that, things that maybe you used to spend some of your general fund money on, things like a new pickup truck or something like that, that might be capital that would come out of general fund. We're seeing more and more cities utilizing the debt service levy to kind of offset that, to where, if your new CGFL levy is it $7.50, maybe you're using a 60-cent debt service levy going forward to try to offset some of what you're losing because of that cap being established. So that's kind of the snapshot of where the city's at, and as you can see there, the debt service levy on the right-hand side is kind of where we're going. There's a column here about 3/4 of the way across the page that says less abatements. There'll be another page there that shows that work. That's basically saying, so you've got your total principal and interest, and then on some of these different various projects, the city's planning to use sources of funds other than the debt service levy to make those payments. And where that's happening, we call that abatements. So we're utilizing other sources of revenue to not use the debt service levy. So that's why we're subtracting out those abatements. All right, the next page here just shows all of your interest rates. Interest rates had started to fall a couple months ago. And as we've gone through January, people are a little bit more pessimistic at this point that rates are going to continue to go down. They've actually started to go back up again a little bit. So as far as your outstanding debt, your outstanding debt's still at very low interest rates. So there's no opportunity to refinance or anything like that right now. So we would likely just leave that 21 and 22 debt alone, leave that outstanding. And then the next page, let's see, that's page 5 of 13, shows just the interest-only payments, and that's helpful for Tammy as she's putting the budget together to have those broken out. Page 6, again, this shows just a little bit more granular level of the Series 2021 debt. We've got the various uses broken out, as well as the principal and interest for each of those uses. And then I believe the next page, shows the 2022. And this shows the semi-annual payments. Those bonds get paid, the principal gets paid annually, but then the interest payments are semi-annual. So this is helpful for Tammy and staff at City Hall to see that breakdown. Page 8 then goes into those abatements that I talked about. These are the various sources of funds that we're using to offset debt service levies the city's planning to use. Some local option sales tax revenue to offset some of its debt, just kind of in perpetuity out into the future. And then we've got some hotel motel tax that we're planning to use to offset some of the debt service levy on the rec center project in 2027. And then there's some money that's being utilized on the sewer lagoon and sludge project that was done in 2021. So then that total column there is what flows into that column on the page showing the debt service levy, where I said less abatements, that column just flows in from this total column here on the right-hand side. Okay, so this next page, page 9, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road for the city council especially. We use this to just kind of plan around what projects does the city have coming up that the council wants to prioritize getting done, and this is the project list that Tammy and I have historically been working through and have continued to work through. And these are the projects that are, looks like we've got everything kind of allocated and planned for and fully funded between debt, various sources of cash, cash on hand and donations and grants. It looks like we've got all these projects allocated for funding. So I'm sure you all are familiar with these projects, and I'll pause here once again to see if anyone has any questions.
There's a few new ones in here that I don't know anything about these projects yet, so, and Steve doesn't probably either.
Not all of them, no.
So you'll have to include us in those.
Yeah, we sure will.
Yeah, and these are just, like we said, we have put these together as the priorities for the council that set those priorities. So as these projects roll around, then we'll get more in depth with those. We're just earmarking funds over the next
Year,
5 years.
5 years, that's what this is a 5-year plan.
Yeah, so Nate, can you explain on that we have to do a pre-bond to be able to put it on, how that's changed, the bonding process has changed, and why we kinda have to have this plan established?
Yeah, so you're talking about the general fund
Yeah.
levy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to kind of, before, the timing on the bonds was a little different than it is now, that it's changed over the last couple of years.
Yeah, so, but essentially, a lot of these projects like a public works pickup, public works payloader, maybe even this new city hall renovation, some of these types of projects used to be things that some cities would be able to cover out of your general fund levy. And we're seeing, kind of like I said before, with the shift of the legislature capping that general fund levy, we're seeing cities utilize the debt service levy to capture some of these projects and get those done. One other thing that I think Tammy's alluding to, that you'll probably see coming up here in your next few meetings is a pre-levy, and you talk about the timing. I think this is what you're talking about, Tammy.
Yes, yeah.
So the series 2026 is the SRF, the general obligation portion of the SRF project that you all have going on. So that debt is not closed yet, but we anticipate needing funds, and I guess we've got the lift station project here as well that we're planning to tackle. So those two projects, the debt has not been incurred yet, but we anticipate incurring those debts at some point between now and the end of fiscal 27, and needing those funds from the debt service levy to make those bond payments in 2027. And so since they haven't been issued yet, but we plan to issue them, there's a mechanism called a pre-levy resolution. And basically what that pre-levy resolution is going to say is, hey, taxpayers and citizens of Holstein, we have not yet incurred this debt, this 2026 debt, it may be 2020 fiscal 27. We have not incurred this debt yet, but we fully intend to, and this is how much we believe we're gonna need to be able to cover those debt payments in fiscal 2027. And as a result of that, we are going to include this estimated amount in our budget so that we can levy and be able to make those debt payments in fiscal 2027.
Is that per year? Like
That would be,
50,000? $50,500 per year till it's paid off, is that what?
Right, yep, correct, yep. Yeah, these are the principal and interest payments combined. The pre-levy resolution only needs to be done once, because we haven't issued the debt yet. Once the debt gets issued, it kind of rolls into the same way the 2021 and the 2022 debt gets treated. And every year, the council will look at, all of your total obligations, and you can decide, hey, this lift station portion of this 2026 bond, we've got some extra sewer money that we want to use toward that this year. And so we're gonna use that extra sewer money instead of levying property taxes for it. That's a decision you can make each and every year once the debt gets issued. This pre-levy resolution mechanism I'm talking about, you'll only see that once because we haven't issued the debt yet. And so we don't have the existing debt to be able to put in the budget, but we're basically gonna say, hey, taxpayers, we anticipate this will be needed in fiscal 27, and so we're gonna go ahead and levy debt service levy for it.
Any questions?
Any other questions? I think the only thing we haven't covered in this packet yet is the sewer revenue debt. So this, starting on page 10, this shows the SRF sewer loan that the city has been working through here over the course of the past couple of years. That just has culminated in financing taking place in 2025 that closed back in December, right before the new council members arrived. So this is funding that sewer project that's currently happening. These are the principal payments then on page 10. Page 11 shows the principal and interest payments. And then page 12 shows the interest rates. That SRF loan is at 3.26%. And then the last page just shows the interest payments on the SRF loan. Any other questions? Tammy, anything I've missed that you want me to
No.
talk about?
I think that you hit all of the high points there. Any questions for Nate moving forward?
Thank you very much, Nate, appreciate you
Yeah.
taking your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, hopefully I can join you there at City Hall in person sometime in the near future as we work through some of these debt issues. I'll hopefully be able to make a trip up there and meet y'all in person. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to relay those through Tammy, and or if you want to call me directly, I'm happy to chat with any of you at any time.
All right, that sounds great. Appreciate your time, Nate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Tammy. Thank you all.
Where's he located?
He's in, I believe he's in Des Moines.
Good morning.
Mhm.
The next item on the agenda is resolution 26-03. And we've got that here. And this is certifying delinquent utility charges for assessment to property taxes. And you can see, it's a little farther, it's this one, right?
It's under your.
It's the next one, yeah, under there, there you go. And so you can see that, what the city is asking to certify these charges for the property taxes, so I would need a motion to,
So they're asking, they're wanting to up their rates, is that what?
No, what this is it's uncollected utility bills that we have shut the water off and done everything we
Oh.
can to collect.
oh, you're in the wrong one.
Yeah. 2603.
There you go, there you go.
Yeah, so they haven't paid their utility bill. We've shut off the services, waited the 60 days, and now we're going to assess them to the property tax.
The 705 South Keel, so it's for sale right now, so
They still
is that
own
gonna be
it,
like a seller's obligation,
yes. And
Take care
so
of it
it's
once
the
you sell
same
it.
as
like a
when
lien
you
or
sell it,
something?
you have to pay your property taxes.
So I would need someone to approve resolution 26-03, please.
I'll make the motion.
Marcus, do I have a second?
Second. Go ahead.
Mike, okay. And this is a roll call vote, so Bonnie,
Yes.
Mike,
Yep.
Marcus,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
The next item, approval of the pickleball proposal. And this was the proposal that Randy Garrettson had put together, and his group of pickleball pals had worked on this. Terry had, if you wanna play, you had talked to Randy a little bit.
Yeah, I did visit with Randy last week. They have really done the legwork on getting bids on resurfacing the tennis courts, at the park. And they are in tough shape. I mean, they cracked and whatnot, and they've been playing, and we did do a little bit of work last summer, with Mark's epoxy to kind of fill the cracks, so kind of got them through. But this would be a resurfacing, and then also there's, money, included in the proposal for nets inside the tennis court. We'd leave the fence on the outside, the taller fence, but then these would be, fences, between the tennis court and the pickleball side. And, so the estimate was around 44,000. When I talked to Randy, the bid from Pro, Tennis, I guess it was the name of the, Pro Tennis, wasn't it? Yeah.
Council Bluffs.
Dennison?
No, this-
No,
Dennison?
this is out of Council
Council
Bluffs.
Bluffs.
Yeah, and that's the one that he got, references for. He did call 3 different entities that have used them and done the same surface application as what, they're proposing, and they've been happy with them. It's lasted fairly well. It does need to be redone at some point, but, Pro Track and Tennis out of Council Bluffs. But anyway, he said the bid was good for 90 days. He would anticipate maybe a 5% increase on this, and he'd like to kind of get that again in a couple months when it'd be closer to 90 days starting the work. But their plan is to do the fundraising. We've already got 15,000 that's been donated to the pickleball project. This kind of came after Mick Hammer passed away, and he was a big pickleballer, and
Okay.
so, I think
I
some
don't
of
think
this is.
nothing's been done to that court.
No.
No. And
No,
they're very
it's-
avid pickleball.
Yeah, it's, no, you're right, and it's needed, you know, I
They
don't know,
still can
Mike,
play tennis if they
I don't know if
Oh, yeah.
you've seen, but that's,
Oh, yeah.
that's what we've kinda got going
So
on
you
right
said
now.
they're gonna put a fence here?
Yes,
across here?
that's their proposal, is
Keep
to,
this is the out, what's there now?
right, that would
And
be
then they're gonna
the,
make 2 pickleball courts. and
Right.
then this would be.
and then that would
another
still be
pickleball.
tennis.
This would be
Tennis.
tennis.
Tennis, and then 2 pickleball courts, and then they would keep,
Basketball hoop
one
down there.
basketball hoop
What?
there, yeah. There isn't a whole lot of games that go on back and forth with the games, so it's usually a lot of just shooting and whatnot, so that's their proposal. And I say they're already actively working on fundraising, so I think they'll probably be able to raise the money, so.
So how often does this need resurfaced then?
Well, if I think some of his, references, I think one was
Wasn't it like 5, 6,
7 years.
7 years?
They resurfaced, this was at Elkhorn High School, tennis courts, but they resurfaced over after 7 years. Waterloo, they do theirs every 5, but they host the state tennis tournaments, so they want them pretty pristine. Lamar's, Westmore College, theirs is just 2 years old, but they've been very satisfied with the results and would use that company again. So, but it is keeping the same surface that's there and just going over top of it, and so we just wanted to make sure that that was a good way to go, and And actually, Mark's Epoxy did a nice job last summer just filling it so that they felt
Yeah,
better about
But this
playing
will-
on it, but,
this will improve the whole, look at the whole area.
yeah. So, I think we need to give them the green light to go,
So
go,
I'm
go,
asking for someone to approve the pickleball proposal.
So just curiosity, they'll be able to fix the fencing issue that we talked about before, the gap in the fence.
I don't think that was really included from this company here, so
I think Josh has kind of a plan.
thought of what we can do there. There's just a gap, kind of falls off between the
We don't
outer
have a
fence
fence.
and the tennis court. I don't know if we've ever had a injury because
Is
of
that
that.
a
but-
falling hazard? Or-
Well, it's at the very edge of the whole thing, right around the fence, so there's
It's
just a,
like this.
there's like a gap.
You just
Where
like
it
bringing
drops
some
off.
dirt
You-
in
well,
there?
That's
you
it,
could
I
bring
think,
dirt or pour some
I think
cement
there's
or-
probably some options there that we just can fill that,
Just have the guys go down there and put some dirt on.
yeah. Like I said, I'm not sure that anybody has fallen into it that I know of, but, you know, it is
Well, we
there and
definitely
it's a
don't want that.
potential, yeah, but,
There's
I
a
don't know.
hazard there, somebody will.
yeah, it'll happen.
There's a
Yeah,
lawsuit.
Yeah. But, I would say fixing that is not here in this proposal, so we would need to, you know, address that, but,
Nope, I was just wondering, haven't talked about it for a while, so.
yeah, yep, no, good question, and, you know, but I feel like there's probably something that we can do with that. You
So
know,
if they get a shortage, like they can't make the 44, what happens?
well, I
Do we
think,
agree to this? It's ours? Is that it?
this is, really, we're going into this with the idea that they're gonna raise the funds.
And they pretty much said that they could
And I
raise the
think,
funds.
and I honestly think they're gonna do it.
Mhm.
I think they've been talking to people before and they really are just waiting for us to give them the green light to go ahead, so
So do you
I'd
have
be
to give
surprised.
that company the go-ahead
Well, it's not,
before the money's raised, or what?
well, they would need to put in their estimate, because this is from October.
yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
they
going
would
up
need a-
5%.
Yeah, that's what
Probably.
Randy
That's what Randy
suggested last week, he said, I kinda think that it might be
So
5%
that's
more.
gonna jump it up to 50,000.
Probably.
And Mary Forrestall, she's been very involved with this as well, and she said, honestly, our goal is maybe to try and raise 60 just for any unexpected,
Well,
and she feels like,
good idea.
she feels like they can do it. And they've already, that 5,000 that came in December was from Cherokee Regional Medical Center. Horn is interested, and there's good grants for some of this, you know, type of thing, wellness type thing, so I think they're just waiting for us to say
Say.
go.
To go ahead.
So, I think I'm ready to say go.
Okay, so would you
So-
like to make a motion to approve the pickleball?
Sure, I will make the motion to approve the pickleball proposal.
Okay, I would need a second.
I'll second that.
Steve, okay. And this is a voice vote, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
So just as we move forward with this, you really want those funds in the account prior to them coming in and
Right.
doing it,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be my understanding,
Yes. Okay.
so. And I think Randy will probably give that company a heads up.
You said
No.
they have 15,000, so they'll probably ask for a down payment, so they have 15,000.
Yeah, we've already, and we actually, I mean, the money is in a fund, and so all the funds are gonna come to the city since we own the property, so. we'd
So
be-
this,
So whatever
they
they-
wanna start this
They wanted this summer,
This
spring, summer,
It's gonna
yeah.
start in the spring,
This
so
spring.
they better.
Yeah, so I think he wants to give them a heads up, and then he needs to get an updated proposal when we're 90 days within work, so.
It's exciting, I know
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that's what they're doing at in the high school, their PE classes, they're teaching the kids how to play pickleball, so I can see this is up and coming, so.
There's a lot of courses out there.
There are.
Oh, there is, yeah.
Next item, resolution 26-04. Naming city depositories and deposit limits.
It did not change from last year.
It did not
It's
change.
just an annual renewal.
Okay, so we're just renewing it. So I would need a motion to approve resolution 26-04.
do you wanna maybe explain IPATE to, real quickly to Mike and?
Yeah, so
and,
IPATE is the
Steve?
investment fund, we get more interest in IPATE, so I try to move as much money that we're not utilizing over into IPATE. So where the bank, we get 2% interest, IPATE, we get 4.9, 3.9, depending on the month. So IPATE is, investment, it's for government investments.
It's government.
Yeah,
Program.
Iowa, I don't know what it actually, the acronym is, it's Iowa Public something Investment Trust. That's what that is, so only the schools and the counties and the cities are allowed to use this. So we make more interest in that, so we shift as much money as we can sitting there, and then when we utilize the funds, I just shift them back. There's no penalty for moving the money around at all.
So you like take some of our local option sales tax money and it's
Yeah,
in there
we've
and,
got-
you know, so that it's
So we
getting good
try to
interest.
keep the expenses covered, and then try to move as much as we can to get as much interest as we can.
That was something every year when we have our audit, the auditor recommended
Mhm.
doing some of that,
Yeah.
and so we did.
Is there
Start
usually
doing that.
quite a bit left over that you
Um,
put in there that we draw
Not
interest?
left over, so not being expended that month. So for instance, we get our property taxes in, March and September, and so we've got influx of cash for a period of
Okay.
time, and then we set that over there, gain a little
And then it
interest, and then
draws out.
slowly,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
It's been a good thing for us.
It has.
Yes. So I need someone to approve resolution 26-04.
I move.
Okay, Steve
I'll second it.
and Mike. And roll call vote, so Marcus,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next item is 26-05, setting the city attorney rate. And you have that resolution in the packet there. So this is the, just basically what we pay for their services,
There's a rate change.
it's just a little rate change.
They were 200 and they went up to 250 or 245.
So I would need someone to approve resolution 26-05, setting the city attorney rate.
I'll make the motion.
Marcus? I need a second, please.
I'll second.
Terry? Okay. Roll call vote, Marcus?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
And the last item, resolution 26-06, is approving the Cherokee Ida Solid Waste Commission Planning Area 2026 Solid Waste Comprehensive Plan Update.
Okay, and I actually emailed that comprehensive plan out. to
Yeah,
you
we got,
guys.
that was.
So you're not getting that packet, I didn't know you can review it.
Thank you for saving the trees.
Yeah, a little
That
light
was-
reading.
That was a hefty packet.
Yeah.
So, and we've been part of, this is just, this for years.
Well,
Has the
even-
rates gone up? Is that what this big packet
No,
was?
this is
or just-
more of what their comprehensive plan is, not,
What-
yeah,
So
so,
like batteries and tires and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Those are the
it-
key,
yeah, and being part of that, we vote on this. So, the last time they updated their comprehensive plan was 2021.
So I would like someone to approve resolution 26-06.
I will.
Mike? Do I have a second, please?
I will.
Steve? Okay, and this is a roll call vote, so Bonnie?
Yes.
Mike?
Yep.
Marcus?
Yep.
Terry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Okey-dokey. Anything else that anybody would like to bring up? So will you go to Randy and tell him?
I will.
Yeah.
And I'll call Mary tomorrow. Call Mary, so, yeah, I'll be, get this going.
So at this point, can I
They're all
would,
down in Texas. They
Well,
got-
they-
Well, I know,
In
that's
runways
true, get
and-
back here.
Yep. All those snowbirds are gone.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Marcus, I need a second.
Second.
Carrie, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very nice.